Welcome back to the Light the Torch podcast. Today, we're diving deep into the final stretch of our countdown of the 31 most impactful players for USC's success in the 2024 season. With just 14 players left and less than a week to go, we're doing one big breakdown to cover it all. If you haven't caught up on our previous breakdowns, make sure to do so. And of course, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell. We're just under 100 subscribers away from our goal of 1,000, and every bit of support helps us keep the torch burning bright. Let's get into this video. At number 14, we've got Emmanuel Pregnon, also known as Eman. Eman is one of those players who commands attention the moment he steps onto the field. Standing at 6'6" and weighing in at 320 pounds, he's a force to be reckoned with on the offensive line. Over the past 7 months, Eman has undergone a physical transformation that's nothing short of remarkable, thanks to the strength and conditioning program led by Benny Wiley. If you've seen the before and after pictures, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This guy has turned into a complete monster. What sets Eman apart isn't just his size and strength. He's also got the speed and agility to match. Bruce Feldman featured him on his Freaks list this year, highlighting his ability to bench 315 pounds for 10 reps, hit a top speed of 17.8 miles per hour, and recorded a 1.68 second 10-yard split. To put that in perspective, that time would have been tied for the second fastest among offensive linemen at the NFL Combine in the last 2 years. That's freakish athleticism for a guy his size. Last season, Eman allowed 0 sacks after transferring to USC from Wyoming, where he already made a name for himself as a freshman All-American. At Wyoming, he started all 11 games in 2022, grading out as the number 3 guard in the Mountain West. That's impressive on its own, but what really excites me is how he's taken his game to the next level since coming to USC. He's the projected starter at left guard, and we're going to need him to be just as dominant this season to keep our high-powered offense firing on all cylinders. Moving on to number 13, we've got redshirt sophomore safety Kamari Ramsey. Kamari Ramsey is a name you're going to hear a lot this season. After transfer from UCLA, Kamari is set to make a huge impact on USC's defense, not just because of his talent, but because of his leadership. It's not often you see a transfer player make such a strong impression that they get selected to represent their new school at Big Ten Media Day, but that's exactly what happened with Kamari. Lincoln Riley picked him along with Miller Moss and Jonah Monheim to represent USC, which says a lot about how much Kamari has already become a leader on this team. At UCLA, Kamari was a key player for D'Anton Lynn's defense, earning a 79.4 overall defensive grade from PFF. His ability to read the game and make smart decisions on the field made him one of the top defensive players for the Bruins last season. Now at USC, he's already drawn praise from his teammates. Miller Moss even called him one of the smartest defensive players he's ever faced. That's high praise. It speaks to the kind of impact Kamari is going to have on our secondary. What's exciting about Kamari is that he's not just a leader by example. He's also a vocal leader who's willing to help his teammates understand the scheme and execute their role. With D'Anton Lynn running the defense and Kamari anchoring the secondary, there's a real belief that USC's defense is going to be much improved this season. We've seen what Kamari can do, and now he's got a chance to shine on an even bigger stage. At number 12, we got Mason Cobb. Mason Cobb is a player who's ready for a comeback season. Last year, he didn't quite live up to the expectation that USC fans had for him, but a lot of that can be chalked up to the scheme he was playing in under Alex Grinch. Now with a new defensive scheme in place and the addition of Easton Mascarenas-Arnold, Cobb is in a much better position to succeed. At Oklahoma State, Cobb was a tackling machine. In 2022, he led the Pokes in tackles and tackles for loss, racking up 96 total tackles and 13 tackles for loss, which were second most in the Big 12. He was named to the All Big 12 second team, and he had some monster games including a career-high 16 tackles against TCU. That's the kind of production we're hoping to see from Cobb this season. The big difference this year is that Cobb won't have to shoulder as much of the load on defense. With Easton Mascarenas-Arnold taking over play calling duties, Cobb can play more freely and focus on making plays rather than worrying about getting everyone lined up. I'm excited to see the Mason Cobb that dominated at Oklahoma State back on the field playing for USC. Coming in at number 11 is linebacker Easton Mascarenas-Arnold. Easton is the heartbeat of this defense. Transferring from Oregon State with his brother Akili, Easton brings 3 years of solid experience and a reputation as a tackling machine. Last season, he racked up 107 tackles, including 6.5 for loss, and he's already been confirmed as a starter for USC this season. Easton's role is going to be crucial. He's the player who's going to have the headset inside his helmet, receiving the plays from Danton Lynn and making sure the defense is lined up correctly. That's a big responsibility, but Easton is more than capable of handling it. His presence on the field is going to allow other players like Mason Cobb to play more loosely and aggressively, knowing that Easton has everything under control. Matt Entz, USC's linebackers coach, has talked about how excited he is about the pairing of Easton and Mason Cobb. He believes that having Easton in the lineup is going to allow Cobb to play faster and more effective, and that's something we're all looking forward to seeing. Easton is the kind of player who makes everyone around him better, and that's why he's so high on our list. Now we're into the top 10. At number 10, we have defensive end Anthony Lucas. Anthony Lucas is one of those players who passes the eye test the moment you see him. When he arrived at USC from Texas A&M, it was clear he had all the physical tools to be a dominant defensive lineman. At 6'6" and 275 pounds, Lucas is a massive presence on the field, but what's really exciting is the buzz around him in camp this year. Defensive coordinator Danton Lynn has been raving about Lucas, calling him tremendous since the summer. What makes Lucas so valuable is his versatility. He could rush the passer, stop the run, and even drop back into coverage if needed. Lynn has said that Lucas's ability to do so many things on the field is going to unlock opportunities for other players on the defense, which is exactly what USC needs. Last season, Lucas showed flashes of his potential, but this year he's ready to take the next step. USC desperately needs someone on the defensive line to step up alongside Bear Alexander, and Lucas has the talent to be that guy. If he can put it all together this season, the sky's the limit for what he can achieve. At number 9, we've got redshirt senior defensive end Jamal Muhammad. Jamal Muhammad is a leader on this USC defense, and his return is a huge boost for the team. Last season, he led the Trojans with 6.5 sacks, and he was a constant presence on the backfield, disrupting opposing offenses. With his experience and leadership, Muhammad is going to be a key player for USC as they enter into the Big Ten. One of the things that stand out about Muhammad is his mentality. He's always ready to compete, and he's already got his sights set on the opener against LSU. This kind of attitude is contagious and is going to be crucial for USC's defense that's looking to improve from last season. Muhammad's ability to get after the quarterback is something that USC is going to rely on heavily this season. He's got the experience, the talent, and the drive to be a difference maker on this defense. And with the new defensive scheme, I expect him to have an even bigger impact this year. Coming in at number 8 is sophomore wide receiver Zachari Branch. Zachari Branch is one of the most electrifying players in college football, and he's only getting started. Last season as a true freshman, Branch made history by becoming USC's first true freshman All-American, thanks to his incredible performance on special teams. He led the nation in punt return average with 20.8 yards per return, and he was a game changer every time he touched the ball. But Branch isn't just a special teams weapon. Lincoln Riley has challenged him to become a bigger part of the offense this year. If he can do that, he's going to be one of the most dangerous players in the country. Branch's speed and agility make him a nightmare for defenses, and with his growing understanding of the offense, he's poised for a breakout season as a receiver. LSU's head coach Brian Kelly has already singled out Branch as a player they're focused on stopping both on offense and special teams. That tells you just how much respect Branch has earned in such a short time. If he can take that next step as a receiver, USC's offense is going to be even more explosive than it already is. Now at number 7, we have sophomore wide receiver Jacoby Lane. Jacoby Lane might have been the least talked about of USC's 2023 wide receiver class, but don't let that fool you. This guy is a future star. Coming out of high school, Lane was known for his athletic ability and his knack for making difficult catches look easy. At 6'5", he's a big target, and after putting on 30 pounds of muscle, he's now up to 195 pounds and he's ready to make an impact. Lane didn't get much playing time during the regular season last year, but he made the most of his opportunity in the Holiday Bowl, recording 7 catches for 93 yards and 2 touchdowns. His hands are as reliable as they come, and he's a master of the 50-50 ball. With his combination of size, strength, and skill, Lane has the potential to lead USC in receiving yards and touchdowns this season. What's really exciting about Lane is he's just scratching the surface of his potential. He's still relatively inexperienced, but what he showed in the Holiday Bowl was incredibly encouraging. If he continues to develop, Lane could be a future first-round draft pick and a cornerstone of USC's offense for years to come. At number 6, it's Wyoming transfer defensive lineman Gavin Meyer. Gavin Meyer is another Wyoming transfer who is set to make a big impact at USC, following in the footsteps of Solomon Byrd and Emmanuel Pregnant. When Meyer transferred to USC, he didn't come with a lot of fanfare, but he's quickly made a name for himself in camp. Lincoln Riley has praised his attitude and potential impact, and defensive line coach Eric Henderson has been equally impressed. Meyer is going to be a key player on the interior of USC's defensive line, lining up next to Bear Alexander. USC struggled to land high-profile defensive line transfers this offseason, but Meyer's emergence has helped ease those concerns. He's got the size, strength, and motor to be a disruptive force on that defensive line, and if he lives up to the hype, he's going to be a major contributor this season. One of the things that stand out about Meyer is how quickly he's adapted to USC's culture and the way he's earned the respect of his teammates and coaches. That's not easy to do as a transfer, but Meyer has embraced the challenge and he's ready to prove that he belongs on the big stage. Now, moving to the top 5 impact players for USC. At number 5, we have Mississippi State transfer Woody Marks. Woody Marks is a player who's ready to take on a big role in USC's offense. Lincoln Riley has already named him as a starting running back, and that's no surprise given his all-around skills. Last season at Mississippi State, Marks rushed for 573 yards and 4 touchdowns, while also catching 23 passes for 167 yards and 2 more touchdowns. He's a versatile back who can do it all. USC fans are hoping that Marks will be more involved in the run game than Marshawn Lloyd was last season. Marks has the ability to be a workhorse back, and his experience will be invaluable as USC faces a tough schedule in the Big Ten. What's even more exciting is that Marks has had success against LSU in the past, so he's already familiar with what it takes to perform against one of the top teams in the country. Marks has also put in the work this offseason, bulking up and getting even stronger. If you've seen the pictures, you know what I'm talking about. This guy is ready to go. With his combination of power, speed, and receiving ability, Marks is going to be a key player for USC this season. He's poised to have a big game against LSU in the opener. Moving on to number 4, we have redshirt freshman offensive tackle Elijah Paige. Elijah Paige is a name that's been buzzing around USC's camp, and for good reason. Standing at 6'7" and weighing in at 320 pounds, Paige is a mammoth of a man, and he's turning heads with his size and potential. Even Pat McAfee took notice on social media after seeing Paige walk out of the locker room. Last season, Paige was sent down to USC's scout team, and while that might not sound glamorous, it was the best thing that could have happened for his development. According to offensive line coach Josh Henson, the move forced Paige to fight and get tougher, and it paid off in a big way. He got reps against some of the best players on USC's defense, and that experience has molded him into a completely different player. Paige got his first start in the Holiday Bowl, and he showed flashes of brilliance. He's still inexperienced, but his potential is through the roof. If he continues to develop, Paige could be a future first-round draft pick and a dominant force on USC's offensive line for years to come. He's going to be a key player this season, especially with the tough defensive line USC will face in the Big Ten. Coming in at number 3 is redshirt senior offensive lineman Jonah Monheim. Jonah Monheim is the anchor of USC's offensive line, and his versatility and experience make him one of the most valuable players on the team. Monheim has played every position on the offensive line during his time at USC, and this season he's making the move to center. That's a big responsibility, as he'll be in charge of pointing out the defense and communicating with the rest of the offensive line. Jonah's leadership is crucial for USC. Lincoln Riley chose him to represent the team at Big Ten Media Day, which just shows how much he's respected by his coaches and teammates. Jonah started all 13 games last season, earning all Pac-12 honors and helping USC's offensive line unit become a Joe Moore Award semifinalist back in 2022. This season, Jonah is going to be the cornerstone of USC's offensive line as they navigate the challenges of the Big Ten. His experience and football IQ are going to be invaluable, especially as he transitions to the center position. Monheim is a player who does everything right, and he's going to be a key factor in USC's success this season. At number 2, we've got junior defensive tackle Bear Alexander. Bear Alexander is a game changer for USC's defense and one of the most exciting talents on the team. After transferring from Georgia, where he contributed significantly to their national championship run, Bear has quickly established himself as a dominant force on the Trojans' defensive line. Standing at 6'3", weighing 305 pounds, Bear's combined size, power, and agility make him a nightmare for offensive linemen. Last season, he recorded 48 tackles, 6.5 for loss, and 1.5 sacks while leading the team in quarterback hurries. His ability to disrupt plays and force turnovers is invaluable, and he's poised to even have a bigger season in 2024. Bear's potential is being fully realized under the guidance of defensive line coach Eric Henderson. Known for his relentless work ethic, Bear is consistently seeking to improve, spending extra time in the film room and on the field. Henderson sees no ceiling for Bear's ability, and with the dog work mentality instilled by his coach, Bear is expected to be a key factor in USC's defense this season. As USC enters the Big Ten, Bear's role becomes even more crucial. His ability to dominate in the trenches will be essential against the physical offensive line of the conference. Bear is not only a potential All-American, but also a future first-round NFL draft pick, and his impact on USC's defense this season can't be overstated. Finally, at number 1, we have redshirt junior quarterback Miller Moss. Miller Moss has been named USC starting quarterback, a role he's earned through hard work, consistency, and leadership. After patiently waiting for his turn behind Caleb Williams, Miller made the most of his opportunity in the 2023 Holiday Bowl, where he delivered a standout performance. In his first start, Miller went 23 of 33 for 372 yards and 6 touchdowns, leading USC to a 42-28 victory over Louisville. This performance not only earned him the Holiday Bowl Offensive MVP, but also set multiple records, including the most touchdown passes in a Holiday Bowl and a USC Bowl game. This game showcased Miller's ability to perform under pressure and solidify his position as the starting quarterback. Lincoln Riley emphasized Miller's consistency and football IQ as a key reason for naming him the starter. Miller's calm demeanor and precise decision-making make him an ideal fit for USC's offense. He's also a respected leader in the locker room, setting a strong example for his teammates. With a talented supporting cast around him, including dynamic receivers and a strong offensive line, Miller is set up for success in 2024. His poise under pressure and ability to execute in critical moments will be crucial as USC faces tough Big Ten defenses. If Miller can build on his Holiday Bowl performance, he has the potential to lead USC to a standout season and potentially a Heisman Trophy at the end. And there you have it. That's our full breakdown of the top 31 most impactful players for USC's 2024 season. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Remember, we're less than 100 subscribers away from our goal of 1,000 subscribers, and every like, subscribe, and share gets us closer to that goal. Plus, it ensures you're a part of the conversation. Keep the torch burning bright, and as always, fight on.